Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to my very first mod spotlight in Minecraft version 1.9. That's right, we are in version Minecraft 1.9. See, I've got a shield thing here. I can go ahead and open up my shield, and it is time to do a spotlight on a mod called Blood Magic. Hooray! Blood Magic has been updated for Minecraft version 1.9. A few mods have, and Blood Magic is one of the first ones I'll be covering. So, let's get started because a lot of things have changed, and you're going to have to learn some of the new mechanics of the early game of Blood Magic. So, let's take a look at Blood Magic. So the beginning game of Blood Magic has changed a little bit. There's a whole new system of stuff called wills, and we're going to talk about how they work and how you get into them. If you've watched my Forgecraft series, you might have an idea of how this works, but I'm not going to make that assumption. So I'm going to make sure you guys know how to do stuff in Blood Magic. So the first thing you're going to want to do is craft a rudimentary snare, and then go find a monster. Throw your snare at the monster, preferably from afar, and once there's white particle effects on the monster, you'll know that you've done something right. Cool. And that will cause his will, the will contained within the monster, like his, not really his soul, but kind of like, you know, his will, I guess, I don't know, to be dropped on the ground in the form of an item. Nice. Now that debuff lasts about 10 or 15 seconds, so keep that in mind. You're going to want about 2 of these, but having a couple extra wouldn't hurt. You might notice that it's not a 100% chance for the effect to occur. It's actually, I don't know, maybe 25 or 50, so it's definitely possible you'll have to throw more than one snare to get the will effect on these guys. Once you've done that, you're going to want to craft a few things. You're going to want to get yourself a Hellfire Forge first, okay? Because you might notice your inventory filling up with demonic wills of varying quantities. Some are really low, like 0.13. Some are really high, like 4.5. I think the highest you'll get by doing this method is 5. So definitely something you're going to want to keep an eye on. The first item you're going to want to craft here is going to be a petty tartaric gem, and that's made inside the Hellfire Forge. So we're going to get ourselves a piece of redstone, a piece of gold, a piece of lapis, and a piece of glass. And we're going to go ahead and craft this thing up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 go in there. And then you're going to need, if you check out your tartaric gem thing, you'll note that on the crafting UI in JEI here, it's going to tell you how much will is required to do the crafting operation. And many different crafting operations in the Hellfire Forge are going to require more will. There's 2 stats here, minimum and drained. Minimum is how much will has to be contained within the gem, and drained is how much will be used. Now that might not sound like there's a difference there, but trust me, there is, and we'll see what that difference is probably later once we get into some more advanced stuff. But for now, in order to get the first tier of tartaric gem, you're going to need 1 will. So find a will here that has 1, so this 1.13 isn't going to work. Okay, 2.68, sure, we'll drop that one in there, and you'll notice the crafting operation begins. Hooray! And you'll get yourself your first common tartaric gem. Nice, and this has 1.68 now. Neat. The other thing you might want to craft, now that you've got a couple demonic wills in your inventory, is a blood altar. Cool, that requires a demonic will for crafting. The blood altar hasn't really changed all that much since the 1.7 version of Blood Magic, but we will definitely be showing how it works. For now, we're just going to craft it and leave it here, and we'll come back to him in a little bit. And one more thing I'm going to recommend that you craft is get an iron sword, get another petty tartaric gem. We're going to place it over here. And I don't think this requires any will. I think it's a 0 cost operation, but you still need to have something in the right here. And it's going to combine and create a Sentient Sword. Now this sword is very, very useful, and I'll show you why. First off, your petty tartaric gem. This is a container for all the wills that you collect. So if wills were to drop on the ground, for example, this is 4.55, and I pick it up, notice now it doesn't go into my inventory, it instead goes into the petty tartaric gem. So you might have imagined that eventually you'd be filling up your inventory with a lot of wills, and that would get very annoying. Yeah, that's why you want the gem pretty much first thing. So any and all wills that you collect are going to zip right into that thing, okay? This thing has a limit to how much it can contain, and you'll kind of see what that's all about. Let's go ahead and kill some monsters now. So 6.54 will. If I go kill a monster with my new sword, fancy, fancy sword, I've now got 7.34 will. Nice. And if I kill another monster with it, sweet. I get 8.14. So those demonic wills will automatically be collected if you kill monsters with a Sentient Sword. If you kill them with a regular old sword, right, 8.14 right now. Ah, Spider Jockey. Oh wow, Spider Jockey's changed a little bit in this version, didn't they? Not part of the plan, guys. Not part of the video plan at all. Notice I probably didn't get any will for that. Yep, still 8.14. And still 8.14. So killing monsters with a Sentient Sword is going to automatically collect wills for you. Neat. Alright guys, let's craft a couple things that we're going to want to get started in Blood Magic. One of the first things you'll probably want is a Divination Sigil. It's very useful when working with the Blood Altar. However, to do it, we're going to need a couple components here. First, we're going to need a blank slate. We're also going to need a piece of redstone, but we're going to want a blank slate. And what you need to do to get a blank slate is, as you can see, you're going to need to infuse one piece of smooth stone in a blood altar, a tier 1 blood altar, with 1,000 life points. And life points, as you probably recall, are gained in two ways. Either A, you can sacrifice monsters or animals at the blood altar, or you can extract some of your own life essence. And simply right-clicking with the sacrificial dagger will damage your character and fill up the altar with life essence. Cool. Nice. Once you've had a sufficient amount of life points stored in your altar, just go ahead and place a piece of stone in there and it'll start the crafting process. It'll take a few seconds and it will automatically turn into the blank slate that we were looking for. Nice. Next, we're going to want to get some Arcane Ashes. These guys are crafted in Hellfire Forge. It doesn't require any will, which is nice. Not too bad. I'm just going to go ahead and put it over here and we'll place it on the ground with a right click. Boom. Ooh, fancy circle. Notice that it used up a little bit of the durability of the ashes. Place your redstone in there. Cool. Place your blank slate on top. And fancy things start occurring. This crafting process brought to you by Way of Time, who can make fancy circles but not particles. Divination Sigil! Nice. So the Divination Sigil can do two things. One, it can tell you how much life essence is currently stored in your soul network, which I'll talk about in a minute for those of you who have never played Blood Magic before. The other thing, you can right-click on a blood altar and see how much is currently stored in there. So currently, there's 1,200 LP. So if I were to want to craft another one of those nifty, fancy blank slates, we can go ahead and just place that in there, and as we right click, we'll see that LP is being drained out of the altar. It'll drain a total of 1,000, so there should be about 200 left in there whenever it finishes crafting, and such it is. Nice. So it used 1,000 LP to go ahead and craft that blank slate. And every time I use the sacrificial dagger, boom, it gives me 400 LP, right? So that should be 1,000. Nice. So that's what's useful with the Divination Sigil. To make your early game life a little bit easier, I recommend two pieces of armor from Blood Magic. One, the Blood Letters pack, and two, the Coat of Arms. Okay, the Blood Letters pack is neat. It will slowly but surely drain health from you, and it won't kill you, so don't worry. And every time you take half a point of damage, or half a heart of damage, it's going to give you 100 LP. So the same amount that you get, because the Sacrificial Dagger takes 1 heart for 200, the Blood Letters pack takes about half a heart for 100. So the same amount, right? And it's not going to kill you, and as you regenerate health, it's going to basically bring you down to about half, and then, you know, boom, 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 right? Neat. So that thing will automatically store LP. Once you take it off, it'll stop damaging you, right? So Blood Letters pack here. And if we check our thing, so 1,000 LP in there right now, right-click this dude, now there's 3,200. Nice. So basically a nice way to store it. Another option is the Coat of Arms, okay? What this does is every time you kill a monster, regardless of what weapon you use, so you don't have to use any fancy weapons, it'll absorb a bit of LP from that monster. Definitely recommend wearing that if you're going hunting. Cool. And you can combine this with your will collection on your Sentient Sword. And you'll note here that you get a bit of LP from stuff, as well as more will in your Petty Tartaric Gem. So definitely a good approach to wear that Coat of Arms. But like all armor, it's going to be damaged if you take damage. So keep that in mind. And the same mechanic is you can go right-click on the altar here, and boom, it'll put the LP that was in there into the altar. Just like in prior versions of Blood Magic, if you place a diamond in an altar with 2000 LP in it, it's going to go ahead and convert itself into a Blood Orb, the first tier. The weak Blood Orb. The weak Blood Orb is the way that you, the character, can store LP in your soul network. Right now, I have 0 LP in there. So let's wait for this thing to craft. And you get a weak Blood Orb. Cool. Right-click to bind it to yourself, and you'll also notice that you probably took a little bit of damage. This drained, again, 1 heart. Looks like almost a heart and a half there. To get you 200 LP. Neat. And you can also absorb LP by placing it in an altar. So right now there's 1796 in there. If I just drop that dude in, it's going to absorb LP. And when I take it out, you'll see that it drains some, and in my network, it has some. Cool. So one of the things you'll probably want to craft next is the Incense Altar. This is going to make your self-sacrificing methods of blood magic a little bit easier on you. As you may recall, in prior versions of Blood Magic, there was a way to do incense that basically gave you bonuses for your self-sacrificing. So place this down. It's going to account for about a 3x3 area, so this area around the altar to begin with. And when you right-click your Divination Sigil here, you'll see that currently it's giving you a bonus of about 20%. Right? And it's also going to make your sacrificial dagger glow if you hang out near your Tranquility Altar. So this is neat because, number one, it's going to make it so that when you right-click your dagger here, so let's see, 1030 LP. If I right-click this once, boom, it's going to steal 90% of my health, so 9 hearts. Normally, that would have given me, what, 1800 LP? But instead, it gave me a little bit more. It gave me 20% more LP than I had would have gotten otherwise. And I also get the Soul Fray debuff. Keep that in mind. And you're going to only be able to do this once every so often, right? Walking closer to the altar, dun 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 dun, your sacrificial dagger will go ahead and glow again, and that means that you've gotten that bonus. Now, we can improve this up to a pretty significant bonus by expanding out this altar. Let's take a look at how to do that. So basically the way this thing works is it will soothe the character, will make them more peaceful, more tranquil, more calm, and will allow their sacrificial dagger to do a bonus effect. You can see currently the tranquility is 0, which means the altar, it's not a very tranquil place. It's just an altar sitting here doing its own thing by itself. So you only get a 20% bonus. However, if we boost the tranquility, we will get a bigger boost in our bonus. To expand the range of the altar, we have to lay out some blocks. We'll start with some wooden paths, which you can see is a tier 2 crafting recipe. So we're probably going to need the second tier of altar. Before we can go ahead and make the second tier of altar, we're going to need to expand this guy using blood runes. Okay, let's take a look. Runes here, or blank runes are what they're called. There's upgraded runes that we'll talk about probably briefly later, but they're pretty much similar to the way things were before. You're going to want 8 of these. And you're going to want to surround the base of the altar with these runes. This will upgrade you to a tier 2 altar. Tier 3, 4, 5, and 6 altars are also available by expanding this. And I'm going to recommend that you guys either check out one of my prior videos or check out the wiki to see how that works out. Notice now that we are a tier 2 altar, which means we can craft tier 2 stuff like the upgraded orbs. So yeah, either check out the Blood Magic Wiki or whatever, or look at one of my prior videos. The Blood Altars, mechanics and tiers and leveling really hasn't changed all that much from prior versions. But now that we can make our tier 2 orb, we can go ahead and make our wooden paths. So expand out the wooden paths like so, and you'll notice that, cool, these guys will extend the range of your Tranquility Altar. Okay, so if we go ahead and right-click now, we'll see that our current Tranquility is 387, and our bonus is 45. Now, there's a bunch of different stuff that affects the Tranquility. Pretty much blocks on the same level as your wooden blocks here, wooden paths, are going to affect it. So things like grass and dirt will make it nice and peaceful. But you can boost it. And things that are above 1 or 2 levels will also boost it. So we can plant some crops here. We can plant, we can have fire and netherrack and lava. That will also make it a little bit boosted. Water can definitely help. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some water here. So basically you're trying to make this a nice peaceful area, right? So let's go ahead and place some water, right? What's my level now? 480, and I get a 52% bonus. Nice. And different types will be better. So if you just put all water, it's not going to be as good as if you put some water and some crops and some dirt and all that kind of cool stuff, right? So, you know, if we got a hoe here and planted some seeds and some potatoes and maybe some carrots, right? That's going to also boost your tranquility, right? So basically making this a nice peaceful area. There are further tiers that you can expand this. So the stone brick path, which is going to require a tier 3 altar and a tier 3 orb, that's going to also be a 3x3. Worn stone path, which is tier 4, and finally obsidian brick path, which is tier 5. And you're going to want to pretty much do the same thing we did, right? A 3x3 going out this way. Cool. Now this is going to have a larger radius around which this Tranquility Altar can operate, and you'll have larger tranquility. Nice. So currently we get an 83% bonus. How cool is that? So, you know, when we go over here and do our blood magic-y things, we should get a pretty nice boost to how much LP we get. Awesome. So that's pretty nifty. And again, just go hang out by your Tranquility Altar, and you'll go ahead and get your sacrificial dagger here, and it'll start glowing, and you'll know that you're in good shape. Nice, right? So I won't build out the rest, but you can imagine that it would be a 3x3 then of worn stone brick, followed by obsidian as you expand here. And again, just try and put all kinds of different stuff. There is information on the wiki as to which different types of things add and boost those values. But again, if you put just a ton of potatoes, it's not going to be as good as if you put some potatoes, some carrots, some wheat, some netherwort, dirt, grass, water, right? Mix it up and you'll have a better result. One of the next items you might want to grab now that you have a tier 2 altar is the Dagger of Sacrifice. Okay, this guy is going to make it so that if you kill any monsters right on top of the blood altar, it's going to immediately kill them. So come here, you. Let's get you to follow me for a second. Notice it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but boom, it'll instantly kill them on the blood altar and give you a large spike of LP in your altar. So definitely a nice way to go about getting some LP, right? Nice. You can also, you know, sacrifice animals and other living creatures that, you know, at your leisure. So I'm using a creative mode only item to create a tier 3 altar. Hooray! And now that we have a tier 3 altar, neat, we're going to go ahead and be able to do some other cool stuff. Let's take a look. So one of the nifty features that's been added to Blood Magic in 1.9 is that all sigils can work while in the offhand. Nice. So for example, if we got ourselves an air sigil, which is pretty fancy, you're just going to need an air reagent, which is a ghast here and a couple feathers. By the way, this is going to require a little bit more will than you've had in the past. You're going to have at least 128 will stored in your Tartaric Gem, and it will drain 20. So that means that if you have 60 in there, it's not going to work, right? It needs to have at least 128, and then it'll drain 20 for the crafting operation, and that will get you the air reagent. And you can simply right-click to kind of zip around and fly around. Air sigils are great. Keep in mind, of course, that's going to require, you know, having enough LP in your network. Cool. So, pretty nifty. How nice is that? Oh man, look at that. Dual wielding sigils. Right click makes you fly and shows you your current LP essence. That is nice. Cool. So that's pretty nifty. There's a couple other sigils you can have, like the teleposition sigil. This one looks pretty cool. I'm going to take this out of here. This, I think, let's see. Lets you move blocks around. How cool is that, huh? You can even move inventories, from what I understand. So if we had a chest here, and we put some steak in there. Nice! Ha! Cool. It should be noted, by the way, that as you get better and better wills, right? Notice that this currently has 6 attack damage on the Sentient Sword. If we were to have a nice, you know, tier 3 Tartaric Gem, right? Which is pretty expensive. It's not super cheap. It does require an imbued slate, which is a tier 3 slate. If this thing was full, with the currently it's able to maintain 1024 will, notice that your attack damage is going to increase. So the more will that you have in your inventory, courtesy of Tartaric Gem, the better attack damage you're going to get on your sword. Cool? So just keep that in mind. Make sure to keep this thing in hand, because whenever you kill stuff with it, you're going to get wills and you're going to want to collect it on there, and you'll be doing more damage. Another nice thing that you get at a tier 3 altar is the ability to make a binding reagent, which requires, common Tartaric, so you can use this. Minimum of 400 will. Drained is 10. So the Binding Reagent is going to allow you to make living armor. Cool. This stuff is actually really fancy. You're going to want to wear the full set in order to get the benefits of it, and you'll notice that the living chest plate indicates the number of upgrade points. So if you're not wearing a full set, any upgrades that you get on this thing are not going to apply. Doing certain tasks while wearing the armor will go ahead and upgrade it. One of them is just walking around. Walking around will eventually upgrade the armor to the point where it's going to have a nice bit of a speed boost. And the more that you walk around while wearing the armor, the more of a speed boost you'll get. Let's come back in a second once I've gone ahead and gotten that speed boost. Upgrade acquired. And if we take a look, we'll see for 3 upgrade points, we got strong legs, which gives us a little bit of a speed boost. Nice. You can notice I'm running just a little bit faster. Jumping, by the way, will give you a bit of a jump boost, which is pretty cool to have as well. But not only movement speed boosts are going to be beneficial here. If we go over to our Sacrificial Altar and we start doing a little bit of poking, upgrade acquired, we just got Tough Palms, which I'm pretty sure makes it so that you get a little bit more LP every time you do a self-sacrifice with the Dagger of Sacrifice. Neat. So if I were to, for example, take this thing out of here, note that typically I would be doing 200 because I'm not boosting right now. See, it's not glowing because I haven't been over there. 229. Nice. So I've gotten now Quick Feet, which I think is actually the running boost. So Quick Feet, run boost, Tough Palms gives you the more LP from sacrificing. Solar Powered is pretty nice. It will allow you to regen health while you're in the sunlight. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I'll definitely take that. Nice. Ooh, upgrade acquired. Ooh, I just got healthy. That's a good one to have. I think you get that either from regenerating health, or I think it's from regenerating health. And you'll notice that I now have 2 extra health bars. So a little 2 extra hearts there at the top. Nice. So lots of different upgrades you can acquire. Basically, you might want multiple sets of living armor. Maybe one for when you're going into combat that gives you lots of extra health and lots of regen and that kind of stuff. And maybe another set for running around and moving quickly. And maybe even another 3rd set for when you're doing self-sacrifice. Notice, however, that each level that you get on these upgrades requires upgrade points. And different things have different costs. And as you get to higher levels, it's going to have different costs. And eventually, you're going to run out. So if you have, 10 different upgrades on there, that's cool, but you might only get level 1 or 2 of each. Maybe if you stand nice and still and you just go with self-sacrifice on a set, you could have the max level of Tough Palms, which would give you your best set for doing your sacrificial dagger work. Cool. So as you can see, I've been doing a bunch of things here. I've gotten a little bit more regen going on, right? Solar powered level 3. I've gotten healthy level 3, which gives me more hearts. You get the gist. There's a bunch of things you can do here. You can do one that makes you dig faster. You can do one that gives you poison resistance. You can give one that gives you more melee damage, more arrows shot from your bow. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can get. Most of them are done through different experiences. Just cool stuff. So one thing you might want to know is, can I remove upgrades from my living chestplate? The answer is yes, using rituals. So let's take a look. We're going to want to master Ritual Stone. Rituals are a tier 3 mechanic for the most part. So you're going to want to at least get yourself 1 master Ritual Stone and a handful of Ritual Stones, which you can see here. And then you'll probably want to get a Ritual Diviner. This is going to make it a lot easier for you to place your rituals down. So those of you who have used rituals in the past, they're not all that different. There's a bunch of different rituals available, and you can hold shift to switch between them. And different rituals have different effects and abilities. And we'll talk about some of them throughout this mod spotlight, but many of them are the same as previous versions. The ritual that we're looking for is called Ritual of the Cleansing Soul. Let's find it. Here it is, Sound of the Cleansing Soul. Looks like it's going to need some water, air, fire, earth, and dusk runes. So in order to get the dusk rune Ritual Diviner, you're going to need a tier 4 altar. So you're going to need Elemental Inscription Tool Dusk, which is a tier 4 altar requirement. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and clear out the Master Ritual Stone. And ooh, fancy, it's going to show us a ghost image of where all the blocks need to be. Nice. Okay, that's cool. Let's go ahead. I might even bring this up 1 level because I don't know exactly. Yeah, see, you're going to want to definitely have that up 1 level. Cool. right click, and it'll place down the blocks. Fancy. That looks pretty good to me. And you can see also, by the way, when you hold shift on this, it's going to use a total of 48 runes. Definitely a good number. So we'll continue building here, and you'll notice that it stops doing green particle effects when it doesn't need to place anymore. So it did, in fact, use 48 ritual stones. Wow, that's a lot. You're also going to want a weak activation crystal, which is, again, a tier 3 guy. Just go ahead and right-click to bind it to yourself. This will use some LP from your network. Hopefully 3,500 is enough. Just go ahead and drop your living chestplate onto the ritual stone. And right-click. A rush of energy flows through the ritual. Okay, cool. How much did that use, by the way? A good amount. And let's go ahead and... Oh, there we go. Cool. So standing on it while wearing the living chestplate will give you what you want. So notice that we just got some living armor upgrade tomes. Tough Palms, level 1. Solar Powered, level 3. Strong Legs, level 1. Healthy, level 3. And Quick V, level 1. Nice. So you just have to stand on it while wearing the living chestplate. That's cool. So it basically removed all those upgrades, and you can combine these. I think pretty much you combine them in a Anvil. So if you had 2 Tough Palms level 1, you would wind up getting Tough Palms level 2. Let's try it. So I'm standing on the ritual, and I should get another... I got Tough Palms on my armor again, so now I have 2 Tough Palms, right? There it is. Tough Palms level 1, Tough Palms level 2. If we were to get an Anvil and combine these, for 2 experience, we get Tough Palms level 2. Nice. And simply right-click it. So let's see. Current upgrade point 0 out of 100. Right-click it. Upgrade acquired. Cool. So that's a very nice way, once you get to a tier 4 altar and get the ritual in place, to customize exactly what you want your living armor to maintain. And you can save these upgrades for later to apply them elsewhere. I think I'll have solar powered too. Reagent would be nice to have. So now that I've got a tier 4 altar, hooray, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Sentient Armour. Sentient Armour is pretty cool. It's an upgraded version of your existing armor, so you're going to need to combine Obsidian, Block of Iron, Lesser Tartaric Gem, and Diamond. So you can probably get this a little bit earlier than Tier 4, but it's neat. So let's take a look. So I'm going to even go into next person, the third person view here. If you right-click on this guy, boom, it's going to replace all your armor with Sentient Armour. Neat. So the Sentient Armour is a stronger version of armor, so it'll give you better protection levels, and there are different effects you can get if you use different types of will. Those of you paying close attention to JEI over here might have noticed there were different colored wills. The main ones that we've been getting are really just default, unrefined, basic will, okay? But there's a better version. There's corrosive wills, there's destructive wills, there's vengeful wills, and there's steadfast wills. And these are going to be demonstrated probably more so in part 2 of the Blood Magic Spotlight. So pretty much what we've been checking out today is a lot of the changes and upgrades that are available in Blood Magic. I tried to give you really basic information about stuff that's existed in prior versions, so those of you who have played Blood Magic 1.7 are not going to be too surprised by some of the things, like the altar. That's pretty much the same as it was. Those of you who have not played prior versions, we've pretty much seen how the Blood Altar works, so you know, you should have a pretty good understanding of it. And like I said, if you want to see exactly how to build out the Blood Altar and how to make it, you know, do what you want it to do, you should probably check out the wikis or one of my prior videos to cover the mechanics of the Blood Altar and how to make it larger. But for the most part, you're going to want to reference a wiki anyway. By the way, right-click the gem again to switch your armor back to the living. So note, when you've got your Sentient Armor on, you're not getting the stat boosts that you would from your living armor. Okay, so you don't get your faster run speed and higher jump heights and regen and all that, but you do get better protection, and you will get some stats and some nifty effects if you're using refined types of armor wills like destructive and vengeful and all that stuff. Do note, by the way, that when you take damage, you're going to lose a little bit of will from your gem. So let's go ahead here and make this guy angry at us. See? So your Sentient Armor doesn't take damage, but you do lose will every time you take some damage. But of course, having this thing on here will refill your will, and that will be nice. All right, for now, Direwolf 20 signing off on part 1 of the Blood Magic Spotlight. We will come back in part 2 to talk about some different types of will, maybe show off a couple different rituals and a couple different abilities, and any other endgame stuff that might be necessary to see. For now, guys, take it easy.